Hello and good morning. Good evening in India for the people watching. Thank you very much for coming to join me. Happy Monday to everyone. I hope your week has gotten off on a good foot. All right. I haven't done a YouTube Hangout and a YouTube Q&A in a long time. So I'm happy that all of these people are here today. Hello to Chetan, CJ, Ayush. Thank you very much for the support. Hi to Ameya, Shravan, Roshan, Ajay, Nishant, Gaming Ghost, Chetan, DK, so many people. Thank you everybody for coming to join me live. I really do appreciate it. Uh, how's your place? Cold? It's cold outside. Inside is not too bad. You know, I like the house being a little cold because I don't like being 100% fully comfortable. I don't know. So I keep the house temperature just a little bit cold. That's why I've got a hat on. So I enjoy that. But yeah, thanks guys for joining. Thanks guys for coming to this hangout, man. I've been waiting to do a Q&A with you guys for a very long time. I like interacting with my YouTube audience. I did a Q&A with my Facebook audience last week, which I really enjoyed as well. So I might do another Facebook one this week probably, but I might actually make the Q&As a regular feature, but I have plans for that I'm probably going to integrate into like a podcast. We're dying in Delhi and the CM is off on foreign holiday. Well, you vote for Kejriwal. What else do you expect? Is it going to be in English only? No, if you ask me a question in Hindi, I'll answer in Hindi. Whatever you'd like me to do. What do you think about Kedarnath movie? I haven't seen Kedarnath movie yet. I haven't seen like any Bollywood movie for a long time, man. Last Bollywood movie I saw was Gold. I think I think it was Gold. Maybe it was some other movie by Akshay Kumar. That hockey movie. I think so. Do you have any plans to visit India? Yes, I do. Next year, probably. Next year, probably around Holi. I'm hoping. It's not 100%, but I'm hoping if that materializes, then I'll let you guys know, and maybe we'll do a meetup, man. You know, in Delhi. That'll be fun. Make more videos on Indian heroes. Yes, that's a very good point, Chetan. I'm going to be doing that. I'm making a video this week on Sushrut. I'm making a video on Teachers of India. My Patreon backers supported me on Patreon and they suggested I make a video on Sushrut. So I'm making one on Sushrut right now. It will be available this week only to patrons on patreon.com, but it's going to be available next week on YouTube as well. So keep an eye out for that. And then I'm going to be putting out another poll for which hero I should make a video on Patreon, and we can go from there. So you're a gooner. Yes, I am. My lot in life is to suffer, you know. Being an Arsenal fan makes you very mentally tough. If there are any Arsenal fans out there, they understand that if you're an Arsenal fan, you're the mentally toughest person on the planet. No amount of disappointment and no amount of sadness can hurt you if you're an Arsenal fan. So yeah, I mean, you know, mentally, it's a good choice, you know, because you're always going to be mentally strong if you're an Arsenal fan. Nothing can hurt you. Happy Chhat Puja, Mr. Sham Sharma. Happy Chhat Puja to you as well. My dad and my mom are going to be doing the entire puja, you know, the fasting and everything they're doing in Bihar for the Chhat Puja. So if I was there, I'd probably do it as well. I always enjoy Chhat. Chhat is I really enjoy Chhat, like after Holi and Diwali. I really enjoy it. Will you do a collab with Jay Sai Deepak in the future, Gajendra? Yes, Gajendra. I was hoping to do an episode with Jay Sai Deepak a little bit earlier, but he was really busy with all the Sabrimala stuff. So I was hoping to do something with him in like September, October, but he was really busy with the Sabrimala stuff. So I wasn't able to do anything. But hopefully now, maybe in November, I'll get him on and I'll do a podcast episode with Jesai Deepak on Shabrimala. So Shabrimala, Ram Temple, all of this stuff, freeing temples from government control. So hopefully this month we can do a collaboration, and hopefully towards the end of November or early December, I'm hoping to do a podcast episode with him as well. When will you collab with FMF? We're also working on that. I'm in touch with FMF for working on a collab as well. So hopefully that works out in the next month or so as well. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, it's a collaboration. I already did a collab kind of with Aaj Ki Taza Khabar. I don't know if you guys watched that video. And apparently channels like Aaj Ki Taza Khabar and channels like FMF, they're being targeted by supporters of Dhruv Rathee, because those people have made some videos speaking about Dhruv Rathee. So apparently some people I don't know if they're necessarily associated with Dhruv Rathee or not, but and what I'm saying is, I don't know if Dhruv Rathee is telling these people what to do, but these people are, some people are in the Dhruv Rathee Squad Facebook page, and they're targeting these channels. So I kind of wanna get them on the show and hopefully talk to them about these issues. So in detail, Aaj Ki Taza Khabar and FMF, hopefully, if that works out one day, they can put their perspective and they can put their side of the story out there. So people can also hear their side of the story, and people can hear what is going on in this whole drama. I the Charvaka podcast at Dhruv Rathee ne Dhruv Rathee. Yeah, I mean, I try not to use that kind of language, but that's just it's funny. It's funny because I understand why some people use it, because Dhruv Rathee often calls these people BJP paid trolls and BJP paid IT agents and stuff like that. So if you're name calling other people, then prepare to have name calling done against you. I try not to do name calling, but let's see how long that lasts. Okay. New CPM argument says that there's a belief there was a Buddhist temple. I heard that as well. Roshan, you're making a good point, because with Sabrimala as well, I was reading an article recently where they're saying that Sabrimala is actually not a Hindu. Hindus only do not get a say in Sabrimala, and that you have to consult the Waqf board as well. You have to consult the Christian organizations as well, because there are Christian devotees of Ayyappa, there's Muslim devotees of Sabrimala and stuff like that. It's a weird argument, man. It's a weird argument. It's like saying that the Quwwatul Islam temple was built after destroying 26 Hindu temple complexes. Then Hindus should also get a say in what happens with Quwwatul Islam. Only the Waqf cannot decide what happens with the Quwwatul Islam mosque, and Hindus should also be asked what to do with Quwwatul Islam mosque, because Quwwatul Islam mosque was built after destroying Hindu temples. So it's like that. It's like saying hundreds, if not thousands, of mosques should consult Hindu organizations, because Hindu organizations Hindu temples were destroyed to build these mosques. And also, it's like saying that, okay, hundreds and thousands of Hindus go and visit the Ajmer Dargah and lay the chadar and whatever, all of that stuff. So chadar chadhane, if Hindus go to Ajmer, then Ajmer Dargah should take the viewpoint of Hindus. The Ajmer Dargah should consult Hindus when deciding. Only the Waqf should not be able to decide what happens to Ajmer Dargah. So that is such a stupid argument, man. I don't get that argument at all. It's a bullshit argument. It must be getting real cold in Chicago, Sham. Why am I getting sadistic pleasure? I actually enjoy the cold, having spent my entire life pretty much in bloody 45 degree centigrade temperature. I actually don't mind negative degree now. The problem with heat, the thing with cold is that you can put on layers, okay, and you're warm, and you can be inside and you're warm. But the heat, man, the heat just, it's hard to escape the heat. It bloody gets in you. It sucks out all your energy. So I actually like cold a lot more than I like heat. Who will you support 2019 general elections? I've been very clear, man. I've been very clear about Sham. I've been very clear about uh, my preferences. I'm going to vote for the BJP because I like Modi. It's simple as that. And a lot of people are very afraid to announce who they like voting for. I'm not afraid because I don't have an agenda. I'm not associated with the BJP. So I just like Modi. Simple as that. So I think even though I've been very disappointed on certain aspects of Mr. Modi, I would still like to give him a second term. And if he disappoints in the second term, then that's it. Then he doesn't deserve anything else after that. But I think he should get a second term because at least on the economics front, he's done a lot of good stuff. On the cultural front, people can say that he's fallen short. But I'd like to see if he makes up for it in the second term. That's my opinion. Uh, Chayandri Day, Chandrai Day. Sorry, Chandrai. I think I pronounced your name wrong initially. So I think you and FMF can make a really good collab. Any chance of that? Yes, Chandrai. I just said I'm going to be working on hopefully a collab with him in the future. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be coming. Uh, do you support the LGBT community? What was that? Do you support the LGBT communities? I don't support. I don't like, but I love your videos. It's my opinion. Hey, man. That's fine. I support LGBTs. I think they should have rights just like everybody else. It's scientifically proven now that being gay is not a choice that they make. It's not a trend. It's a very biological thing. So and just generally speaking as well, man. Just from a freedom point of view, I don't care what you do in your bedroom. I don't care about that. I view people depending upon what they do in the public space. In the public space, if they're just people, homosexuals are homosexuals in their bedroom. In the public space, they're just people, just like a heterosexual. A heterosexual is just a person in the public. In in his bedroom or in her bedroom, they may do whatever they want to do. I don't care about that. I have no problems with the LGBT community. We see that number of views, and you and your other voices are not reaching masses. What could be the reason? Mate, I don't know. Siddharth, that is a good question. Your guess is as good as mine when it comes to questions like that. But I think one of the reasons is that maybe he's always started to do his videos. He's always done his videos in Hindi, and I do a mix of Hindi and English, also because there's reasons for that. I do one video a week, as you might have noticed over the past few weeks. I've done like one video in English and one video in Hindi, and I want to keep doing my English videos because there's people from not the Hindi speaking belt. There's people in, let's say, other parts of India that do not understand Hindi, that still have that dharmic connection. People in southern India, for example, may not understand Hindi that well, but they still have that dharmic connection. I want to make sure that they don't feel left out. And even outside of India, there's some people. It's a very small number of people, but still, there's some people who are not even Indian that like to watch my show, and they say that they learn new things about India from watching my show. So I want to make sure that they don't feel left out as well. Because if you're making a case for Dharma, if you're making a case for India, if you're making a case for a Sanatani civilization, then I think that the word needs to get out of just India and reach people outside of India as well. So, in the Gita, you say you can, all that you have control over is your work. You don't have control over the results. So I just have control over my work. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I do, and to the best of my ability, and hopefully the results will come. So it's a long game. I'm not too worried. All right. What's your view on Christians in the board of Balaji Tirupati temple appointed by Chandrababu Naidu? It's the same thing. I just don't think that government should be. It's the same question, Montiji, of just governments trying to control temples and their affairs. I don't think it's right. I don't think government should have the right to say what a temple should do or what a temple shouldn't do. Because if it doesn't do it to mosques and churches, then it shouldn't do it to temples. It's as simple as that. So I just don't agree with I just don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that nonsense. Okay. Mridul Khanna, bhai kamal ho yaar tum. Why? What happened? Kya kiya maine ab? Sham will support AAP secretly. Yaar, don't tell anybody. Okay, what else? All right. What else do we have here? Let Sham and Waleed and I do a show where we basically troll everyone. That's a great idea. I'm 100% down for that idea. Chetan DK, how can I support your channel apart from Patreon? Well, Chetan, I'll tell you what. I'm actually setting up like a Paytm or a PayPal thing as well. As a lot of people have asked me to do like a Paytm, PayPal thing as well. So I might set something like that up. And so if anyone would like to support, you can do that via Paytm and PayPal and stuff like that as well. It's like a one-time thing, and then you don't have to worry about it. If that is something that is more convenient to people, I'll set that up this week, and it should be up and ready to go next week. So I'll do that. A lot of people have suggested it, so I might do that. So I hope that answers your question, Chetan. Sham. Please watch phenomenal travel videos. Okay, Senior Joe, I will give that a look as well. Thank you for the suggestion. Please make a Discord server because Facebook blocks everyone. Nikkei Gupta, I don't even know what a Discord server is, man. I'm so bad with technology. Like, people think I'm good, but I'm really not. I'm really bad with technology, so I don't even know what a Discord server is and how it works. Can anybody suggest a good YouTube video or a good some place where I can go and understand what the hell a Discord server is? Because I have no idea. Some people have suggested that I should get a Discord server, and Nikkei is suggesting it right now here, but I have no idea what the hell a Discord server is. So if somebody can suggest a good resource, jahan pe I can go and learn a little bit more about Discord, just let me know in that chat right there. Uday, thanks, Sham. I'm a Dharmic fan from South India. Of course, man. That's the whole point, you know. Dharma doesn't just exist in North India. Dharma exists everywhere. Where are we now? Okay. What are your thoughts on people like Kanhaiya from JNU, Delhi, and their leftist thought? Look, some people say that some people, there's two types of people on the left. Okay, there's one person on the left which basically says that, okay, we are not happy with the way the right wing thinks, we are not happy with the way minorities are treated, you know, the general leftist talking points. But I don't think they hate India. You know, I don't think they hate India. I don't think they hate India's civilization. It's one part. The left has two parts. I don't think they hate India, and I don't think they hate India's civilization. But there's another part, the second part, what I think some of these people, like Sheila Rashid, like Umar Khalid, some of these people fall on that second side of the spectrum, which is they have a genuine dislike for India's native civilization. They have a genuine dislike for India's indigenous culture. And so, you know, it's important to counter that intellectually. You know, they have the freedom to say what they need to say, as long as they're not asking for azadi, because that amounts to bloody sedition, and there are laws against that. As long as you're not doing that, you have the right to speak and express yourself, and we have the right, you and me and everybody watching, we have the right to counter that with facts and counter that intellectually and challenge it. Because when you challenge it, because we have to at the end of the day defeat them intellectually, because they rely on controlling the mind. So if we can free people from this mind control, that is how this battle is going to be won. So long way to go. So all we can do is keep countering them and keep answering them with logic and facts, basically. What cultural improvements do you expect of Narendra Modi in the second term? Well, I would like for him to be able to at least talk about passing some population laws, because population is a huge problem. I think some population laws. I would like him to free temples from government control. I would like him to get rid of Article 370 and 35A from Kashmir. These are hard decisions, but I think these are decisions that should be made. So those are some of the things that I would like to see on the sort of cultural front, because those are things that are important to me. Maybe push the government a little, maybe push the courts a little bit more on the Ram Janmabhoomi temple decision, Sabrimala, stuff like that. And I think the BJP needs to learn from, Indian politics needs to learn from American politics, in the sense that if the Republicans win, then they will appoint judges to the Supreme Court, where those judges, their ideas and their intellectual pursuits align with the ideas of the winning party. So some people say it's a good thing, some people say it's a bad thing, but again, power begets power. So if you are a party in power, then you need to look at these things. You need to maybe look at appointing judges that maybe agree with your point of view more. It is a tactic that is used very efficiently and very effectively in the United States. So maybe they could look into it a little bit more in India. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's effective for sure. Dark Knight Me. Thank you, Dark Knight Me, for the contribution. I really appreciate it. Takes a lot of people making a winning team. Everybody's contribution is important. I appreciate that. I appreciate the sentiment. And thank you very much. You should do a live with Imam Tawhidi. Illuminati, I would love to do that, man. I reached out to him a couple of months ago, I think. I didn't hear anything from him, but I'd love to reach out again, probably give him a little hit again and try and talk to him again. So yeah, I'll keep reaching out to him, see if I can get him on the show. Hey Sham, I asked if you'd care to make a dedicated show on Rajiv Malhotra sir's compilation on India's contribution to science and technology. Well, I might do something like that. I'm already doing something kind of similar to that with the Teachers of India series. And there's going to be a new video that is going to be coming out next week on Teachers of India. So the Teachers of India essentially are people that have made significant contributions towards science and technology for India. So I did one on, I believe, Varaha Mihir. I did another one. I forgot who I did the other one on. I can't remember, but I did another one, and I'm making one more video this week on Sushrut. And so I'm going to be releasing it next week, but it's going to be available for Patreon users this week. So yeah, so I'm already making some videos kind of similar to that, kind of similar to people who have made significant contributions in science and technology on behalf of India. And I made one more video, which is basically debunking a lot of claims that Muslims make that, Islam invented all of these things, but a lot of things that Islam invented are basically translations from things that Indians already invented, and the Greeks already invented, and the Romans already invented. So I made a video on that as well, so you can go check it out. It's probably from a month ago that I made it. So I've already done some stuff like that, so you can go check those things out over there as well. All right. Next question. Mahendra Kumar, Sham, please answer. Sorry, man, I missed your question. There's a lot of questions here, so I may have missed it. Can you ask it again, please? Sir, what is your views on illegal conversions happening in Nepal. It's the same thing. It's the same view as what is happening here in India, Prahlad. They're doing the same thing. They use two things. They use poverty and they use tragedies to target people. I don't know if people remember, but they sent like hundreds of charity organizations, which is basically Christian missionary organizations. They went to Nepal after that earthquake and started converting people, started offering people money and said, hey, we'll help you out if you convert and stuff like that. It's the same thing that they did in India after the tsunami. It's the same thing that they did to the Yazidis when ISIS attacked them. And when the Yazidis were suffering, these people showed up and they say, hey, we'll help you if you convert to Christianity. It's wrong. This kind of fraudulent conversion. Look, I have no problem against people converting to another religion. Okay, it's their freedom of religion to do that. If they want to do it, do it. I have no problem with that. I have a problem with this fraudulent kind of conversion. When you target poor people and you tell them, we'll give you money if you convert, we'll give you food if you convert, we'll give you this kind of medicine if you convert, and stuff like that. And the other fraudulent stuff where you target people who are suffering, like the Yazidis, like Hindus during the 2004 tsunami, like the Nepalese Hindus during the 2015 I think earthquake. So that kind of stuff is wrong, and I think there need to be some laws against that. We need to also lobby for laws against fraudulent conversion. We don't need to have anti-conversion laws across the board, but we need to have laws against fraudulent conversion. So that's what I think. Tanmay Samantha, I'm watching your videos from West Bengal. Thank you, Tanmay. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody watching. What are your views on judicial activism? I actually made a video. I'm actually making a video for Op India, which is probably going to come out next weekend on judicial activism, because recently, you saw this whole thing where the Supreme Court said, oh, you can only burst crackers between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Diwali day only, and you can only burst green crackers. I don't know what the hell a green cracker is. I thought the green cracker is that green atom bomb that comes out. That's the only green cracker I've ever seen, but whatever. So, and you saw how people, completely went against that order. It was probably a lot of people on Twitter were saying that people started bursting crackers like early in the morning, and they kept bursting crackers till late at night. And like so many people were booked and arrested as well. And a lot of people on Twitter online were saying that it is probably one of the biggest display of civil disobedience and non-cooperation since, I think, independence. So it's getting to a point. Ronald Reagan had a very interesting quote about that the judiciary is supposed to uphold the law. It is not supposed to legislate. If the judiciary starts to legislate, if the judiciary starts to tell people what to do, then we're entering dangerous territory, because the judges become the most powerful thing in the whole country. Because not only do they interpret the law, not only do they uphold the law, but they start then legislating as well. So I think it's a dangerous thing. I would recommend everyone here who is watching to keep an eye out for that video for Op India. It's going to probably come around next weekend, or maybe towards the middle of this week. But I'll announce it when it comes around, so you guys will be able to go watch it as well. All right. Make a video on my state, Nagaland. Other states of India don't even know where is Northeast India. Can you tell me why that is the reason? Well, Zeli, you have a very fair point. There's been a kind of almost ignoring of the Northeast from sort of mainstream India and mainstream political parties since independence. Nehru kind of decided, all right, we'll just leave Northeast India to do what they need to do. And they had even Manmohan, and kind of that policy kind of continued. Even Manmohan Singh had that policy of look east, which was basically, looking at Southeast Asian countries. But even then, I think successive Congress governments never really paid attention to the Northeast as well. And the Northeast kind of became this isolated area which is part of India, but still so isolated from India and stuff like that. And it's translated into these weird conceptions that people in like Delhi, people in like mainstream India sort of have about people from the Northeast as well, which I think, I went to Delhi University, and thankfully, when I was in Delhi University, I was able to meet a lot of people from the Northeast. And most of those bloody stereotypes that people have in their heads about people from the Northeast are wrong. So, yeah, I mean, I think the BJP government has done a decent job of starting to focus and starting to look at the Northeast more and more. And I hope that trend continues, because they are our people, they are part of our culture, they are part of our civilization. And it's just wrong that we have ignored them for such a long time. Uh, and well, not even ignored, but just not paid attention to them for such a long time. So I think I'm hoping that changes with the BJP government and the way it started to work. So yeah, I hope the change continues. Harshit Pant, Discord is like a WhatsApp group. Okay, how do you use it? Can anybody send me an article, like, or an article or a YouTube video? I don't know. It's like a WhatsApp group, but how does that work? I don't know how that works. I'm writing a story about. Wait, where did we go? Hang on. Sujan Kaku, thank you for the contribution. I appreciate it. Shamji, regarding population laws, what do you think about canceling voting rights to families with more than 2 children? I think canceling voting rights for people with more than 2 children, I think it's a little bit harsh. I don't know if you should cancel voting rights for them, but I think there should be penalties. I don't know if the penalties could be canceling voting rights. That seems like it's pretty rash, or it's almost too strict. But there should be penalties. I think you should have to pay a very strict penalty if you're having more than, say, 3 kids. I think 3 kids is where I think if you're having kids more than 3, that's where I think a problem starts. I think till 3 kids, I think it's fine. I don't think having 3 kids is a problem. But I think if you're having more than that, in a country like India, which is already getting crushed under its population, I think there needs to be some kind of strict penalties. I don't know. I'll have to think about the voting rights one, Sujan, because maybe it could work. Maybe it's a deterrent. I don't know. I'll have to really think about that and get back to you. It's a good question. It's a really good question, though. But I'll have to get back to you about that. Radhakrishna Sharma, thank you for the support as well, Radhakrishna ji. What should India's population control strategy be? Okay. So again, I kind of answered it in Sujan's answer, but I think a strategy needs to be where we need to have some kind of population laws. We need to have some kind of uniform civil code, at least a version of it, where we can apply certain population standards across the board in the country. That okay, you can have up to 3 kids, which is fine. If you're having up to 3 kids, that's fine. But if you're having more than 3 kids, then we need some kind of penalties on you. It's either a hefty fee, or I don't know, cancellation of voting rights. That's actually it. The more I think about it, the more interesting that idea gets. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one more. But again, you need to be able to have like a threshold of like, okay, you can have 3 kids, but after having 3 kids, okay, we need to now set some harsh penalties for you. And harsh penalties work. Sometimes they work, because there was this thing for a while in Delhi. I remember when for breaking traffic rules in Delhi, you had to pay 100 rupees as a fine. That if a police officer caught you while you were breaking a traffic rule, you would have to pay 100 rupees in fine. So literally everybody in Delhi can pay 100 rupees. So they would break the rule, the police would catch them, and they would give them a 100 rupees, and they'll carry on. But then one day, I think it was just for a very short period of time, the government raised the fine from 100 rupees to 5,000 rupees. And the incidence of the incidence of traffic violations just drastically reduced by like 60-70% or something crazy like that. So those damn, I croak. Those things can actually work. So yeah, I think instituting some kinds of population laws where some kind of harsh penalties are imposed on people that are having more than 3 kids is probably a good strategy, and it would need to be applied across the board. So yeah, I haven't really thought too hard and deep about what those penalties could be, but maybe I could make a video on that in the future. If you guys think, actually, let me crowdsource that. What penalties do you think could be effective penalties when it comes to population laws? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know right now. You can even leave comments under this video. What do you think are effective penalties which are strict enough but not oppressive? What do you think are good penalties that that the government can use to effectively control the population? Let me know. Rishi Venkatesh, thank you very much for your contribution as well to the chat. I really appreciate it. Okay. CS Collections भाई को मेरी तरफ से बहुत बहुत प्यार सम्मान और आदर है. CS Collections, thank you very much. मेरी तरफ से भी बहुत बहुत प्यार और सम्मान और आदर आपको भी. Okay. Uday, Andhra does not have, yeah, a lot of southern states do not have anti-conversion laws. So again, there you go. Can you tell me where I find historical stories on Indian heroes? It's a good question, man. I often look at, I get a lot of ideas on Twitter. I get a lot of ideas like just kind of following certain Twitter handles that talk about these things. I do searches on Google. I do searches. I read a book recently. Oh my God, I'm forgetting the name of that book. It was a book about Shivaji's life. It was a book about something like life and times of Shivaji. Let me look it up. I read a book recently. There was a lot of good information on that. Was it this one? I don't know if it was this one. But it says Shivaji, His Life and Times by Gajanan Bhaskar. Was it this one? Maybe it was this one. But I genuinely find a lot of information on Twitter. I find a lot of information online just searching for India's historical heroes. It's very interesting because you can like search for one hero. Like if, for example, if you're reading about Shivaji, then you find other heroes that are related to that. I found that story that I did on YouTube, which I made a video on, about the story of 300 that a lot of people didn't hear of, and I did it while I was doing research on Shivaji. So I don't have a really good answer for your question, but I would just say try and find historical books. I would even suggest look at Amar Chitra Katha. Amar Chitra Katha has a lot of good information that people don't really realize. I found a lot of good information on Amar Chitra Katha when I was a kid, I remember. So you can probably start with that. Okay. Do you think Nikkei Gupta, do you think Western conservatives have different motives than Indian conservatives? We believe in Vasudev Kutumbakam, but Westerners don't believe in ethnic diversity. That's a very good point, because there's a lot of similarities in terms of what the Western conservatives are facing and what the Indian dharmics are facing today. There's a lot of similarities between those two situations. Both the Western conservatives and both the Indian dharmics are facing challenges from the left and from the Islamists. So they're both facing problems. But the difference comes that the Indian dharmics do not want the entire world to bend down to their knees and believe in what we believe in, right? What all Indian dharmics want is to have their own space to exist, live their lives, and thrive. But the Western conservatives a lot of Western conservatives have a very evangelical mindset. A lot of Western conservatives tend to be very evangelical, which means that they want to convert other people to Christianity. That is a big difference that exists between Indian conservatives, sort of Hindu dharmics, and the Western conservatives. So while we see And while we can avail of the similarities, and while we can find collaborations because of the similarities in the situations that both of us face, I think Indian dharmics still need to be very careful of Western conservatives. But because generally speaking, Western conservatives are very evangelical. So unless they can get rid of that mindset, you know, of everybody needs to be converted, you know, then we cannot truly be friends. We can be allies in certain situations, but unless they can get rid of that evangelical mindset, we cannot be friends, so to say. We can be allies, but not really friends. So yeah, that's the difference. I think the Indian dharmics probably have the best outlook on that, in the sense that we don't want to convert everybody we meet. All right. What else do we have? Why make a video on T series and PewDiePie? Why? What's going on with T series and PewDiePie? I haven't really been paying attention. So if anybody can fill me in on that. Okay. What are your views on secularism and diversity? Isn't it destroying Indian culture? We only have one country, Muslims have many. So Karthike, I don't know what you mean when you're. So look, secularism isn't a bad thing inherently. Diversity isn't a bad thing inherently. Secularism becomes a bad thing in India because secularism in India means that you only care about the minorities and you don't care about the majority. That is what secularism in India means. That majority is bad, majority deserves, majority doesn't need any help, majority doesn't need any respect. It is only that we need to look after the minorities. That is what secularism means in India. Diversity in India also means the same thing. Diversity in India means that you only care about the minorities when it comes to diversity. You do not care about the majority when it comes to diversity, even though within India, within Hindu civilization, there is such an insane amount of diversity. But that diversity does not is not good diversity. That diversity is, it's racist, it's all of that nonsense. Diversity is only good when it comes to Muslims and Christians. So when it comes to India, diversity and secularism have become bastardized. They don't mean what they are, what they in India, secularism and diversity don't mean what they actually mean in the English language. So that is the problem. That is what is destroying Indian culture, and that is what is destroying our democracy and our civilization. Inherently, secularism is a very good thing. Inherently, diversity is a very good thing. Indian definitions of these things are horrible, and that is what we need to fight. So I have no problems against secularism. I have problems against the Indian style of secularism. Why do Narendra Modi don't make a bullet train station near Statue of Unity? Awesome, Hulk. That may be in the plans because they've been working on bullet train design. So I don't know. That may actually be in the plan. So we'll just have to wait and see. Already we can see that the Statue of Unity is generating, is attracting a lot of people, is attracting a lot of tourists, and there's massive plans within the government to develop more infrastructure and to develop more um, sort of facilities around the Statue of Unity, like hotels, airports, train stations, adventure sports, hikes, and all of that stuff. So they're already working on developing an entire tourist ecosystem around the Statue of Unity. So that's going to take a few years to come into reality. So I think we need to wait and watch for that one. Okay, Sham, what do you think about Bengalis? I like Bengalis, man. I like Bengalis. I like Bengali food. I like Bengali people. I had a lot of Bengali friends in college. I love Bengalis. I love Bengali culture. I love Durga Puja. Durga Puja in Delhi, we used to go from pandal to pandal to pandal. In Durga Puja, go from one pandal, then go to another pandal. Chitranjan Park is a very good area in Delhi for this stuff. So I love Bengalis. I love Bengalis. I love their culture. Okay, let's see. Shiv Tej is asking, women are the bearers of civilization, and the absence of young Hindu women on Hindu forums is upsetting. your take. I agree. I think we need to find more. I think there are, like, if you go to social media, there are a lot of women Hindu voices that are becoming very prominent. So I don't know if there's a shortage, but yeah, I mean, to your point, Shift Age, I think we can use more Hindu women for sure. I think a lot of people sometimes think that Hindu forums tend to be these boys clubs, which in certain cases might be true. But I think more and more women are getting involved. Like if you go on social media, there's a lot of strong Hindu women voices that are speaking up for causes. One of the one of the creators of, or one of the most strong voices behind this Shabrimala movement and behind the sort of ready to wait movement that brought the story of Shabrimala into the national picture is a woman, Anjali George, who I actually did a podcast with recently on the show. So she's a young woman who's done such a great amount of work when it comes to raising awareness about Shabrimala, raising awareness about the tradition in Shabrimala. So I think there are voices for sure. And again, we can do with more. I think it's important to give them a voice, but I think there are also voices already coming in. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. Okay, what else? What else do we have here? uh, do you think Hinduism is the best answer? Please answer. Please answer. Shrijit Saha. I think it's a good answer. I think it's an answer, just like there are many other answers. I think it's a good answer in the set. I think it's a better answer than Islam and Christianity, in my opinion, because it is not asking you to believe in this, and if you believe in anything else, you're wrong. You're going to go to hell. And I think that Hinduism is adaptable to science. I think Hinduism is adaptable to changes. I think Hinduism is adaptable to new information, and I think Hinduism is open to criticism and discussion. And for those reasons, it makes it a very good philosophy. It makes it a an adaptable philosophy. It makes it a flexible philosophy. It makes it an open philosophy, and it makes it an accommodative philosophy. And for all of those reasons, I am very proud of my civilization, and that is why I call myself a Hindu, because I am part of that civilization. So it's, for me, and I think for the world, we can do with more of a philosophy like that. That is my answer. I don't know if it is the best answer, but I think it's a pretty good answer. uh okay, what else do we have here? Whoops. Sorry guys, I'm sorry if I'm missing any of your questions, because as you can see, there are a lot of questions being answered. The young, thanks Sham, but the operative word was young. The young women fall for cultural. There are a lot of young women coming in as well. Shift age, I mean, if you go on social media, I mean, by young, if you're meaning like teenage women, or women in their young early 20s, maybe there's a shortage of that, maybe there's not enough. But definition of young is between 18 and 35, and there's a fair few women there talking about these things. When you're talking about young women falling for cultural Marxism, you're right about that as well. You're right about young women falling for cultural Marxism. You're right about young men also. A lot of young men falling for cultural Marxism as well. Generally speaking, we see that men tend to be more conservative than women. That is the case all around the globe. It is not a phenomenon with just India. You see that in the United States. Men tend to be more conservative than women. Women tend to be more liberal. You see that in Britain. You see that in Germany. You see that all around the world. Men, as in general, tend to be more conservative. So that is why you tend to see more men in conservative movements than young women. But as I said, even in the United States, in conservative movement, it is I think 70-30 men and women ratio, and it would probably be the same in, say, Britain as well. So in all around the world, conservative movements have that issue. But again, like I said, more women are coming in. We need to give them a choice. We need to market conservative circles better. I think what happens is liberals tend to market these as these boys clubs. Oh, hello, video editor. What are you doing here? My cat likes to come into the video. Here you go. Off you go, love. All right. Yeah. So, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Yeah. So that just tends to happen. I think we can definitely market ourselves better, but that is a trend everywhere. Do you support a ban on porn? No, no. It's stupid. Let them watch it, man. Who cares? Let people watch porn. Who cares? All right. Does being rich is a sin as leftists portray? No, being rich is not a sin as leftists portray. Being rich and being a dick about it is a sin, I guess. Don't do that. Don't be a dick about it. But working hard, earning money, being wealthy, being a job creator, being an entrepreneur, being a job creator is not a bad thing. It's a great thing. If you are a job creator, that means you are creating a job not just for yourself, but for people around you. It's a great thing. It's problematic in a country like, in India, you need some safety nets, particularly because there are so many poor people in India. And as you can see with the BJP government as well, they're very, very, very much for a safety net in India. So I believe in that safety net and all of that stuff. But being rich is not a sin. That's a bullshit leftist nonsense that, oh, everybody needs to be exactly equal. No. If everybody was exactly equal, then why do we have sports competitions? Why do we have the Olympics? Give everybody the gold medal. Why do we celebrate the Olympics? Why do we watch sports? Why do we watch wrestling matches? Why do we watch the UFC if everybody is exactly equal? It's a bullshit. It's such a bullshit notion that I just don't like that stuff. Okay, what else? Sham, what's your view on Kashmiri Muslims? My view on Kashmiri Muslims is that there are Kashmiri Muslims that just want to live their lives, that are good people, that just want to be good people, just like a lot of Muslims around the country and a lot of Muslims around the world. But I also think there are a lot of there is a certain amount of radicalism within the Kashmiri Muslim community that comes in a large part from their proximity to Pakistan and from their madrasas and from their mosques. And a lot of these Kashmiri Muslims were either complicit, were either participating in the ethnic cleansing of the Kashmiri Hindus, or were silent witnesses. And if you're a silent witness when a community is ethnically cleansed from your area, then you're complicit. And at the end of the day, look, at the end of the day, Pakistan's days as a country are numbered. If you create a country based on just the notion of religion, it's not going to last very long. And Pakistan is basically India with Islam. That is what Pakistan is. So the day Islam se pet nahi bharta, like people say, religion se pet nahi bharta, religion does not feed you. Already people are seeing that Pakistan is getting very close to a failed country status. People are seeing that it is a country that is increasingly being controlled by China, and China is very, very close to coming into complete ownership of Pakistan, because Pakistan has no money and nobody is willing to give Pakistan money, no matter how much Imran Khan dances and spreads his arms and all that stuff. So Pakistan's days as a country are numbered. I don't know how many days. I don't know how long. Maybe 100 years, maybe less. Who knows? But yeah, but when that edifice collapses, the Muslims of India will need to make a choice. That are we Arabs, like we've been lied to, or are we Indians? The day Muslims of India decide that, okay, we're not really Arabs, we're basically just Hindus with Islam, and we're basically Indians, then is when things start to change. So I think it'll change after sort of Pakistan as a nation ceases to exist, which is not going to be very long. Okay, thoughts on Asia Bibi? Abhishek Kumar is asking. I thought her incarceration and I thought the case against her was bogus to begin with, because you shouldn't be sent to jail, you shouldn't be incarcerated, you shouldn't be executed, and you shouldn't be killed for criticizing religion. It is okay to criticize religion. It is, and I don't even think she said anything crazy, you know. But in general, I'm just making a general point that people should be able to criticize religion the way they want to. I think there's no problem with criticizing religion. People should be able to say whatever they need to about religion. And those blasphemy laws that exist in Pakistan and that exist in India, they need to go away. They need to go away. If you get rid of those laws, then you give these people who are screaming and shouting about killing people and putting people in jail for insulting religion, then they have nothing to stand by. So eventually, if you get rid of the law, that feeling will also go away. So yeah, I'm fully in support that Asia Bibi should be free. Okay. What am I saying next? What do you, whoops, sorry guys, there's a lot of questions. I'm just trying to find the questions from the comments. Blueberry Incense is asking how to get rid of annoying vegetarians. Dude, look, I love vegetarians, man. All right. I think vegetarians are great people. They're doing a great thing. I think they're coming from a very good place in their hearts, right? They're saying that I don't want to hurt any animals and I don't want to, I don't want any animals to die so I can eat. It's a very good place that they're coming from. What I don't like is when they freaking don't let you forget about it, that they're vegetarian. They keep talking about it. They keep talking about it. And they act like they are so much better than everybody else around them. I think vegetarianism is a great thing, right? I think it's a great thing. I think vegetarians who are able to stay vegetarians are great people. You know, they're great. They're doing a great service to mankind. Just don't be an asshole about it. That's all I say. Just don't act like you're better than everybody around you. Just keep that down, and nobody's going to hate you. So that's my answer to that. शक्ति सिंह, श्याम भैया, टॉमी रॉबिन्सन का क्या हुआ? पता नहीं क्या हुआ. I mean, Tommy Robinson is out of jail. ऐसा तो कुछ हुआ नहीं उसके साथ. But basically, I've already said a lot of stuff. टॉमी रॉबिन्सन के बारे में मैं पहले भी काफी बात कर चुका हूँ. टॉमी रॉबिन्सन एक इकलौता कंजर्वेटिव है बाहर से जो मुझे ऑलमोस्ट पूरी तरह से पसंद है, क्योंकि टॉमी रॉबिन्सन इज वन ऑफ द फ्यू कंजर्वेटिव्स जिसको हिंदुइज्म, सिखिज्म और इस्लाम में अंतर पता है. इसको पता है कि हिंदूज और सिख जो आते हैं इंग्लैंड में और जो रहते हैं वो जनरली पीसफुल हैं, वो ब्रिटिश सोसाइटी से इंटीग्रेट करते हैं, नौकरी करते हैं, काम धंधा करते हैं, पढ़े हुए नहीं रहते हैं बस, और ऑब्वियसली रेडिकल नहीं होते हैं. लेकिन जो मुसलमान है उनमें अंतर है. तो टॉमी रॉबिन्सन ये समझता है. टॉमी रॉबिन्सन किसी को कन्वर्ट भी नहीं करना चाहता है. टॉमी रॉबिन्सन सिर्फ अपनी ब्रिटिश सोसाइटी को और अपने इंग्लिश कल्चर को प्रिजर्व करके रखना चाहता है. तो उस हिसाब से टॉमी रॉबिन्सन इज वन ऑफ द फ्यू कंजर्वेटिव्स जो मुझे पसंद है. तो I mean, that's what I want to say about him. Hey Sham, what's your view on Rajiv Malhotra? I like a lot of his work. I have a lot of respect for Rajiv Malhotra. I have a lot of respect for the work that he has done and the research that he has done. You know, almost he has been working against all these leftist Western scholars for such a long time, for decades, you know, 30, 40 years he's been working against these people. And alone, you know, for 20 years almost, he worked alone by himself in fighting these people and fighting these people's narrative. So I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of respect for his work. Nowadays, taking of being a Hindu, you're termed as an andhbhakt by liberals. No, that's what happens. That's what happens if you say that you are part of your culture, that you are proud of your culture, that you're you're a proud Hindu, that you're proud that you belong to the Sanatani civilization, start being called a bad person, because they know how powerful our culture is, and they don't like it. They think that the Hindu civilization is just like the Christian civilization. Because it's in a majority in India, it obviously is going to oppress everybody around them. So they just use that stupid Western framework and they apply it to India. And if you apply that Western framework to India, it means that the majority is bad and the majority is horrible, the majority is racist, and the majority needs to be criticized. So that's the same thing the leftists are doing in India, basically. So, John Kaku, we need a Donald Trump equivalent in India for PM. I don't know, man. I don't know if we do. I think Modi can be a very good leader. I think Modi can be a very good example. If Modi wins a second term, and if Modi does some work on the cultural front in his second term, I think he can be a very good example of a conservative leader who is not a troll, who is not an asshole, who is not a dick, who is not destroying the fundamentals of democracy and decorum, but is still able to be just as effective as somebody like Donald Trump. I think Modi can really be such a strong figure in conservative politics around the world and such a strong example to conservative leaders all across the world if he can just start working on those cultural aspects. So I think we don't really need a Donald Trump if Modi can just start working on those aspects. Anand Abhinash, your take on Virat Kohli comment. Anand, I've just read about it this morning, and it was very interesting because I think what happened was I understand that his response was wrong and he shouldn't say that, but I like the way he said it. I'll tell you why. Because somebody said that I like Australian cricketers more than these Indians. And when he was explaining why he got so angry, Virat Kohli said that I got angry because he said these Indians, he talked about Indians in a very derogatory manner. And he said, oh, these bloody Indians, like that. And that's what I didn't like. That's why I said, then, well, get out of India. And I like that. I like a guy who gets angry when somebody craps on his country and on his people. I like it. So I don't like what he said, but I like the sentiment. I like how angry he got when somebody dissed his country. So, uh, you know, I gotta say I didn't mind that. Arsenal forever fourth, dude. Not fourth. We're fifth right now. Okay, get your facts straight. We're fifth, not fourth. All right. Enough of this fourth bullshit. We're fifth, number 5. Do you think? All right. राहुल गांधी के बारे में क्या बोलेंगे? क्या वो सच में पप्पू है? यार देखो, जब तक राहुल गांधी पीएम कैंडिडेट बना रहेगा कांग्रेस पार्टी की तरफ से, तब तक मोदी जी का अभी भी चांस है 2019 में जीतने का. ठीक है, पूर्ण बहुमत से. राहुल गांधी जी की वजह से ही राहुल गांधी की वजह से बीजेपी को काफी लाभ हुआ है और हिंदुओं को काफी लाभ हुआ है. तो आजकल देख रहे हैं काफी महागठबंधन चल रही है. ट्विटर के सीईओ भी आके राहुल गांधी से मिल रहे हैं, बट राहुल गांधी जी की वजह से मोदी जी को काफी फायदा हुआ है. If you are right, then you will face barricade. Well, what are you gonna do? If you face barricade, you face barricade. You keep fighting through that barricade. You keep fighting. You keep doing. If people keep criticizing you because just for saying that you are a Hindu, just for saying that you belong to the Sanatani civilization, if people are insulting you and if people are criticizing you, good. Let them do it. Let them do it. Eventually, they will lose. Don't worry about it. Your thought on one God versus many God. Look, even in India, Shajit, we have a concept of this one supreme consciousness, right? In India, we have that same concept. The Brahman is that same divine supreme consciousness that the entire universe consists of. The entire universe consists of that one supreme consciousness. Me, you, everybody around us is part of that same Brahman, is part of that same supreme consciousness. And the many gods thing in India comes in where we have the freedom. as Hindus, as Sanatani people, we have the freedom to interpret that supreme consciousness in any way that we see fit, right? I can interpret that supreme consciousness as Krishna, you can interpret it as Shiva, he can interpret it as Indra, they can interpret it as Vayu, they can interpret it as Rama, and stuff like that. They have Durga, whatever, Durga, Kali, Saraswati, Shakti, however you want, you can interpret it in your own mind and in your own view. So that is what Indians believe. So we don't have a concept of like, oh, this is the only right thing, that is wrong, and stuff like that. We believe that there is one supreme consciousness that we're all part of, but we have the freedom to interpret it, and we have the freedom to believe in it, worship is whatever you want to say, the way we want, the way we live our lives. Sham, do you think Hindus and Indias is the same entity? Yes, I do. For thousands of years, people outside of India have been referring to Indians as Hindus. So it is not just a religious term. Right now, in 2018, it's considered to be a religious term, but it is not just a religious term. It is a cultural term. It is a civilizational term as well. Anybody living between the Sindhu River, the Himalayas, and the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea, anybody living in that quadrilateral kind of area is a Hindu. That is what a lot of foreigners, when they refer to us, the Persians, the Greeks, the Chinese, the Shuks and the Hoons, whoever it was, when they refer to us, as the Hindus, like that. So I think it's not just a religious term, and even the Muslims and the Christians living in India are basically Hindus by that definition as well. They may not believe in the same things that we do, but culturally, we're the same people. Abhishek Kumar, Hinduism says that to know God, you need to be one. I think what you're saying, Abhishek, is that to truly experience, right? To truly experience Brahman, you need to be one with Brahman. That's, I think, what you're saying. That is what India says as well. That is what Indian philosophy says as well. That to truly experience, to truly know what Brahman is, to truly experience Brahman, we need to be one with Brahman. We need to achieve a state of samadhi through the practice of Ashtanga yoga. We need to achieve the state of samadhi where we can experience Brahman, which is said to be the most profound experience of your life, right? The most important, the most profound, the greatest experience of your life. So that is what Hinduism says. So I think that's what you're referring to. Please Asiya Bibi par video banaiye, Indian star. That's a good idea. I might actually make a video on Asiya Bibi. So keep an eye out for that. I'm actually going to write that down. I've been thinking about it for a while, but I actually might make a video on Asiya Bibi. Good idea. Thank you very much for suggesting the idea. Dark Knight Me, thank you again for your contribution. I really appreciate it. Is asking, Sham sir, in future, do you see ourselves barricading our borders like Israel to protect the last remaining few? I hope it doesn't come to that. That sounds like a very doomsday-like scenario. I hope it doesn't come to that. I've been reading reports that the Indian population is going to start balancing out, sort of plateauing around 2045, that in 2040 to 2045, Indian population is start to get flat, plateau. And the Indian population makeup is going to stay very similar to that, for the future after that. But there is a lot of time between 2018 and 2045. There's more than 20 years, more than 25 years almost. So in that time being, I'm hoping that the government can enact some population laws, that we can work on controlling this increase of population, not just for one community, but for all communities. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. I don't think it will come to that, but I'm an optimistic person, so maybe I'm wrong. But I'm hoping it doesn't come to that, and I'm hoping we can work on, helping that plateau to reach before 2045. Maybe we can get, maybe if we can work on population laws, we can get that plateau to come around 2035. Okay. Do you see an analogy in Indian leftists and American leftists? Aditya Mishra. Yes, I absolutely do, Aditya. There is a massive analogy between Indian leftists and American Western leftists, because the Indian leftists completely copy paste everything from the Western leftists, right? The Indian leftists take all their inspiration, all their frameworks, all their mental whatever research and all of that stuff. They take it from the American and the Western leftists. American Western leftists, the Western leftists say, okay, majority culture is bad. Minorities are good. Minorities are nice people. Majority, bad people. Criticize the majority. Majority deserves to die, and only minorities deserve to exist. Minority deserve everything. Majority deserve nothing. This is what the American leftists kind of believe, right? And the Indian leftists copy and paste that same formula into India. They say, oh, Hindus are majority, Hindus bad. Muslims are minority, Muslims good. Christians are minority, Christians good. Right? Anything that Hindus believe is horrible. Anything that Christians and Islam believes is very nice, spiritual. It is their religion. Please respect their religion. But when Hindu believes something, he's a bad person. He's horrible. They copy and paste the same bloody formula into India that they follow in the Western countries. So there's a huge amount of similarity. They borrow heavily from Western leftists. Okay. India is already upgrading the fence by Pakistan modernizing with tech. Yeah, I mean, they're already building, they're thinking of building, there was also talks about that they're looking to build a massive like wall kind of structure between India and Bangladesh as well. So I don't know what's happening on that. What's your, Dhruv Patel, what's your most favorite YouTube channel? That's a good question, man. That's a very good question. Who do I follow on YouTube? What are my subscriptions? You know what? Let me tell you right now. Who asked me this? Dhruv Patel. Dhruv, let me answer that question right now. I like a lot of stuff, man. You know, I like a lot of stuff. I like the Joe Rogan Experience on YouTube. I don't know how many people here watch Joe Rogan's channel. I really like his podcast. I really enjoy it. I like Last Week Tonight. I watch a lot of Last Week Tonight, even though it's super leftist, but I still enjoy it. I like Real Time with Bill Maher. I like that. I follow the Arsenal YouTube channel because I'm an Arsenal fan and I enjoy punishment. Then I like watching movies. So I follow like movie review channels. There's a couple of like English movie review channels that I follow. I think it's called Jeremy Johns and Chris Stuckman. I follow a bunch of stuff, man. I follow a bunch of nonsense stuff on my personal account because I like watching nonsense on YouTube because I'm an idiot. Okay. It's time for Chat in Bihar again. Leftists start barking. Let them bark. Enjoy your Chat. My parents are enjoying their Chat. They don't care about leftists barking. They do their Chat every year. Okay, what else? What are your thoughts about Dhruv Rathee and his Kejriwal AAP connections? It is what it is, man. I don't care. If somebody is related to a political party and makes YouTube videos, fine. I don't care. I just don't like that what that guy does is anybody who doesn't agree with him, anybody who criticizes him, anybody who makes videos on him, he says, oh, he's a BJP paid agent. Abbe, how do you know? Everybody that doesn't like you is a BJP paid agent. They can't be a normal person that just doesn't like you. Is it necessary for everybody in the world to like you? No. Somebody just doesn't like you. Doesn't mean they're a Congress agent, doesn't mean they're a BJP agent, doesn't mean they're a foreign agent. They just don't like you, man. They just don't like your arguments. And it's not even the thing that they don't like you. I have no personal animosity against Dhruv Rathee at all. Nothing at all. I don't even know the guy, right? So how can I have personal animosity against him? I just don't like his views. So, and other channels that are a lot bigger than me, like FMF and Aaj Ki Taza Khabar, I'm a very tiny channel. They're the big channels. They make videos of it. Doesn't make them paid agents of anybody. They just don't like your point of view. They just don't like your arguments. So they make videos against your arguments. Just relax. Stop calling everybody you don't bloody like BJP agent. Shamji, do you think UP government is right in changing the names of ancient cities? Does it revive a sense of cultural identity among Indians? Yes, yes, it does. I think changing the names of important Indian cities is a good thing. I don't think we should change every single city's name back. It's too much of a hassle. I don't think we need to do that. But of important historical importance, like cities that have a large amount of cultural and historical importance, I think changing their names back to their original names isn't a bad thing, because it is the righting of a historical wrong. Historically, when the Muslim invaders, when the Islamic invaders came to India, they changed the names of these cities to Islamic names because it was to insult the Hindus. It was to show the quwwat of Islam. It was to show the power of Islam. Look at the power of Islam. I'm going to take the names of all the important cities of the Hindus and I'm going to change them. And I'm going to change them to Muslim names. I'm going to change the name of Prayag to Allahabad. It is just to rub salt into the wounds of the Hindus. That's why it was done. It was done to insult the Hindus. So to change the name of Allahabad to uh, Prayag, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a very good thing. Because one of the things that we have always lacked since the British times in India, particularly among Hindus, is pride. We have seen a huge amount of, you know, we've seen a dearth of pride. We've seen a reduction in pride. We've seen generations of people without any pride in their culture, any pride in their civilization. That is why they look outside. That is why they look outside of India for guidance. That is why they look outside of India for help. That is why they look outside of India for culture and stuff like that, because they have no pride in their own culture. So I think regenerating pride among Indians is very important. So changing the names of important cities, culturally, historically important cities, I think that's a good thing. Okay. बढ़िया लगा आपका लाइव देखकर मित्र. Thank you, Abhishek. I appreciate you watching as well. Your voice accent is great. How can I learn the same? I have, I have no idea, man. This I just talk like this. I don't know how to learn this. I just talk like this. I don't know. I've always been talking like this, so I don't know. I have no idea how to answer the question. Ravi Shankar, should we annex Bangladesh and Pakistan? No, man. There's no need to annex anybody. Look, we're not an annexing country. With Bangladesh and Pakistan, we need to just secure India, and we need to just watch Bangladesh and Pakistan happen. Because especially Pakistan is not a country that is going to be around for a much longer period of time, right? It is a country whose only reason for existence is Islam, because the people in Pakistan have nothing in common with each other. The Baloch people have nothing in common with the Punjabis, right? The Pashtuns have nothing in common with the Punjabis. The Pashtuns have nothing in common with the Sindhis, right? The only thing that they have in common is Islam, and it's not going to last very long, right? So culturally, even those people are very different. They don't like each other. They don't want to be with each other. So it's not. We just need to make sure that India is fine, that India is strong. We need to focus on India. Focus on India. Make sure India is strong. The rest will happen on its own. Once Pakistan disintegrates, then you can. Then we'll think about what to do with that. Right now, I think we need to just focus on India. Bhushan Sharma, when are you coming to India? I'm hoping to come early next year, Bhushan. I'm hoping to come to Delhi, hopefully for Holi. Maybe I am able to, maybe I'm not. But if I am able to come, I will make sure to inform you guys well in time, and so we can have a hangout and we can probably do a meetup, man. So yeah. Did you graduate in India or abroad? I graduated in India. I'm just working here, but yeah, I went to Delhi University. I went to Hindu College in Delhi University. So there you go. I went to the liberals. I went to the belly of the beast, so to say, when it comes to the liberals. Okay, what else? Ram Mandir will never be solved by the court. Well, here's the thing with Ram Mandir as well. With the Ram Mandir as well, I think we need to realize, right? Hindus need to realize that we need to fight the battles where the battles are won. We need to fight the battles, number one, at the government level, local and national, and we need to fight the battles legally, because that is where the battles are going to be won. The battles are not going to be won on social media. Social media is very important for creating awareness. But for winning the battles, we need to approach the government and we need to approach the courts. So Ram Janmabhoomi issue will be solved on two fronts, on the government front and on the legal front. On the government front, you elect a government that is going to do something about Ram Janmabhoomi. And secondly, you have that government appoint judges that are going to do something about Ram Janmabhoomi. Thirdly, you approach the courts like the Hindus have done in the case of Ram Janmabhoomi, like the Hindus have done in the case of Shabarimala, like the Hindus have done in the case of removing temples from government control. Fight the battles there. Yeah, you might lose one or two battles, but eventually this is where the battles are going to be won. Yeah, we lost the Shabarimala battle, but the Shabarimala war is still going on. It is not over, right? We're going to fight another battle in November. It's coming up, another hearing. Ram Janmabhoomi, keep fighting this battle because we're going to win this battle. And these battles are going to be won in the government sphere and in the legal sphere. So the legal sphere and the government sphere are very important, and it's very important that Hindus organize around these spheres, create organizations. There are already a lot of legal organizations that are fighting for Hindu causes. Support those organizations like People for Dharma and stuff like that. So go support People for Dharma because they are the ones that are actually fighting the battles in places where the battles are going to be won. So I think the legal aspect is very important. How do communists support Islam and Christianity? Aren't they ultra aggressive atheists? Yes, of course they are. But Islam and Christianity are also totalitarian, right? Islam and Christianity are totalitarian ideologies. Communism is a totalitarian ideology. Communism believes in complete control. Islam believes in complete control. Christianity believes in complete control. So what they do is, the reason in India Islam and Christianity and communism work together is because they might disagree with each other, but their ideology towards Hindus is the same. Communists believe in removing Hinduism and completely controlling India. Islam believes in removing Hinduism, completely controlling India. Christianity believes in removing Hinduism and completely controlling India. All three of them want Hinduism to be removed. Once Hinduism is removed, then the Islamists and the Christians and the communists are going to start fighting each other. But right now, while Hindus are alive, they are together to fight the Hindus because all of them believe in complete control and totalitarianism. That's why they support each other. Hindus should unite with Indian ex-Muslims, but where to find them? Well, they're out there. They're out there. They're not very vocal right now because of problems with apostasy, law and order problems, honor killings and stuff like that. That still happens in countries like India, countries like Pakistan. If you just walk out and say, I'm an ex-Muslim, if you live in a small town and stuff like that, it's hard. It's really hard for people like that. So I'm sure they're out there. A lot of them are liberals because a lot of them have only seen the world, and the only philosophy they know is the Abrahamic philosophy. They have no idea how a Hindu philosophy, how a Sanatani philosophy works. So because they've only seen an Abrahamic philosophy, because they only understand an Abrahamic philosophy, they only think that, Hinduism is just like Abrahamic. All the religions are bakwas. All these philosophies are bakwas. So we need to find them and we need to educate them about what Indian philosophy, what Sanatani philosophy truly is, and explain it in a proper way. What do you think of Sadhguru? I think he preaches well. Yeah, I think Sadhguru is a very interesting guy. I think Sadhguru is somebody that has figured out how to use social media to get Hinduism out there. I think he's been doing very well. I think the audiences that he's been talking to is very impressive because he's talking to a lot of young liberal people that do not agree with him at all. So the fact that he likes to take them head on is very good, and I like that. So that kind of stuff I really appreciate about him. So yeah, I mean, I think he's a I think you know I think there's good things about him. I think there's a couple of things that I don't like, but on the whole, I think he's doing a lot of good stuff. All right. Sir, how can we contribute to our religion as a youth? That's a very good question, Satyam Tripathi. Satyam, I would say learn more about your culture, learn more about your civilization, learn its history, learn its philosophies, learn its tenets, learn more about it, educate people around you about it. Like in your college, in your school, talk to people about it. When people say some stupid things about Hinduism, Hindu civilization, that, oh, Hinduism is this, Hinduism is that, educate them, counter them with facts, right? Counter them, write articles, make videos, produce content, and read. So read, produce content, and very importantly, support people that are doing work in this sphere. I'm not just talking about myself, okay? You're free, feel free to support me, but support people that are doing work. Support people like Jesai Deepak. Support people like Anjali George that are fighting for Sabrimala. Support people that are fighting for Dharma. Support people that are fighting for our civilization and the rights of our people. Support those people because those people need support. We want to ensure that people who are talking about Dharma, that are talking about Indian civilization, that are talking about Hinduism, that they can do it all the time. Most of these people who are fighting for Dharma, they have a job and then in their free time they do this stuff, right? We need to make sure that these people don't need to work and they can keep doing this full time. They can spend 24 hours a day focusing on Dharma, focusing on talking about Dharma, focusing on Hindu rights and stuff like that. So support these people, educate yourself, educate people around you, and support people who are doing work for Dharma. That is what I would say. This is how you can contribute to your civilization and your religion, so to say. All right. What else is going on? Tesseract Media, Sham Sharma, why do you work for Hindus? I don't work for anybody. I work for myself. If you're asking why do I work for like the Hindu civilization, why do I talk about defending Hindu civilization? I'm guessing that's what you're asking. If that's the question, then because it's my civilization, because I'm very proud of it, because I'm very proud of our history, because I'm very proud of our philosophy. Our philosophy is the most unique philosophy, cultural philosophy in the world. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of our rishis, our gurus. I'm very proud of our warriors. All the ancient civilizations of the world have been wiped out, but Hindus are still here today. Why? Because they know how to fight. Don't ever forget that. People say, oh, Hindus are only peace-loving people. Hindus are only, they only do namaste and that's it. No, Hindus know how to fight. When Hindus were threatened, they picked up the sword and they fought back, right? So they know how to fight. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever let anybody tell you that Hindus don't know how to fight, that Hindus are just peaceful people only doing namaste. No, Hindus know how to fight back. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of our civilization, its history, our warriors, our philosophy. And when I see that our civilization is being maligned, that our culture is being maligned with falsities and fake news and with this kind of leftist, evangelist, Islamist agenda, then I thought we need to talk about it, right? And I thought, I talk about it with my friends and family all the time. Let me talk to a camera. Let's see what happens. Maybe they like it, maybe they don't like it. We'll see. Some people seem to like it, so that's good, and I'll keep doing it because this is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about our civilization, and I want to keep talking about it. So that's why I talk about it. Suggest history books. Ronak Ranwal, I'll give you a free resource. There's like 20, 30 books on there. Go to voiceofdharma.org. I think that's what it's called. Go to uh, go to Google and search Voice of Dharma books. On Voice of Dharma books, you'll find books by Konrad Elst. You'll find books by Sitaram Goyal. You'll find books by S. Rajaram. You'll find books by Ram Swarup. All of those books talk about Indian philosophy and Indian history. And all of those books are fantastic. Go read all of those books. They're free. All of those books are free. All of those books are available online on Voice of Dharma books. Go search them. Go read them. Fantastic. You have 2 or 3 months of free reading. So go read that. Da, 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 da. When I came in favor of Modi ji, people call me Andhbhakt, so I get very emotional. Don't get emotional, man. If people call you names, don't get emotional. If people call you names, it doesn't reflect badly on you. It reflects badly on them. It reflects badly on them because they have not taken the time and the effort to understand your point of view. If you say something and I call you, if you say something and I start calling you names, that reflects poorly on me. That makes me an idiot. That doesn't make you an idiot. All right? Because if I criticize you, I must first learn and understand what it is that you are saying. What is the point that you're trying to make? What is your ideology? What is your history? Why do you think the way you think? I have to understand all of those things before I criticize you. If I don't understand anything and after one sentence I say you're an idiot, then I'm the real idiot. So don't get emotional when they call you names because they're the actual idiots. All right? You have the facts. If you have the facts, counter them with the facts. Don't get emotional. Fight back, counter them with facts. Okay, what else? Katie, huge fan, Sham. Keep it up. Thank you, Katie. I really appreciate it. Right. What should we do to clean the CPI from the country? Look, Aditya, CPI is already being removed slowly and steadily from the country. People are realizing that this communism bullshit is not working, right? It's they were very powerful in West Bengal. They've been removed from West Bengal. Very powerful in Tripura. They've been removed from Tripura. They're slowly being removed from their stronghold. Kerala basically is the last big stronghold that they have. And slowly and steadily, they'll be removed from there as well. As people are learning, as people are starting to work, in better jobs, as their incomes are increasing, they are noticing that look, my income is increasing because of capitalism. My income is not increasing because of communism. I'm working in cities. I'm going to work for these private companies. I'm going to work here. I'm going to work there, and my income is increasing because of that, because of these companies. And I lived under the communists for 30, 40 years. Nothing happened, right? People are realizing that they're living under communist rule and nothing is changing. So they're slowly moving, and we have to keep ensuring that we keep raising awareness about the problems with communism, the dangers of communism, and slowly and steadily they'll get removed from Kerala as well. Okay, what else? Ananya Sahu, hey, what do you think about T Series versus PewDiePie? I think there's so much hate from them. It seems it won't start such a trivial matter. Ananya, I have no idea what the T Series versus PewDiePie thing is, to be honest. I haven't been really paying attention. So I'll have to do some research after the live stream. Maybe this week I'll do some research on what is happening. Uh, more than two or three people have mentioned this T-Series versus PewDiePie thing, so I don't know what this really is. I'll have to look. I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna watch some videos about this whole T-Series versus PewDiePie thing. So I'll see. I'll get back to you with that answer. Kunal Singh, your views on Vivek Agnihotri? I think he's an interesting guy. I think he's done a really good job with marketing when it comes to exposing the urban naxals. The urban naxals movement is a very big service that he has provided to India, because he has created that linkage. He has exposed that linkage that, it's not just the people, the terrorists, Maoists in the jungles, but there are people who support them from the big cities and from within the establishment. There are people that support these people with money, with intellectual support, with scholarly support, and stuff like that. So exposing that linkage has been a very important service that he's provided. So that's what I think about that. Rate BJP 4.5-year rule. I will give it, out of 10, 6. I'll give it 6 out of 10. It's been good, it's been good on the economic front, but it hasn't been very good it has been very good on the economic front, and it has been very good on the foreign policy front. I think in terms of raising India's stock in the world, Modi has done a very good job. People are starting to take Modi and India seriously. Whenever Modi goes somewhere, people take him seriously. News covers it. It's a big deal when Modi goes to another country. And the way it has created relationships between different countries as well. Modi actually got Indian flights to fly over Saudi airspace to go to Israel, which was impossible. If you're going to Israel, you're not allowed to fly over Saudi airspace. So, I mean, his foreign policy has been pretty good. His work on the economy and bringing Indian people out of poverty has been very good. But where he's lacked is the social, the social stuff, is the cultural stuff. So that's why I'll give it 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5. But I'm hoping that if he wins in 2019, he will work on the social aspect of that as well. So that's what I would say. Okay, the Wire tried to defame. Wait, where did that question go? Oh, question just disappeared. Sorry, man. Da-da-da-da. Shubham Maurya, do you like Donald Trump? I don't like the guy as a person, but he's funny. I'm not gonna lie to you, he's funny. He cracks me up, man. He's such a troll, dude. Donald Trump is such a freaking troll. He's such an expert troll that it makes me laugh. Like, I don't think he's good for democracy in general. I don't think a country should have a leader like that. That is just a dick. I don't think that's good. But he makes me laugh, man. Every now and then he'll say something that I'm just like, oh shit, So I don't know. I think he's a better choice than Hillary Clinton for 2016. My opinion. I did not like Hillary Clinton at all. If I was allowed to vote, I would have voted for Donald Trump. So there you go. Your views on Ben Shapiro? I think he's a very smart guy. I think he's a very intelligent guy. I think he's a very well-read guy. I think he's wrong when it comes to his religious beliefs. I think a lot of those are wrong because he has that very Abrahamic concept, and he says that everything good in the world and all the good philosophies in the world have come from Christianity and Judaism, which is again false. Because Judaism has basically appropriated a lot of ancient philosophies like the Greek philosophies, Roman philosophies, Hindu philosophies. It's appropriated a lot of that stuff. So when he's saying that all the good things in the world come from the Judeo-Christian religion, it's wrong. It's factually completely incorrect. And he's a pretty evangelical kind of guy as well, and he basically does shit on like other religions like Hinduism. Like, he doesn't like them. So There's a lot of things that I agree with him on. There's a lot of things that I disagree with him on. That's what I think about him. What are your views on Nityananda? His views are going viral and the youth is making memes on it. People are getting a bad impression. Look, man, to be honest, I have not paid a lot of attention to Nityanand and what he says. I've only watched a couple of videos here and there, and those videos were weird because he was saying weird stuff. I'll have to do a lot more research on Nityanand to give an answer to you to that question. I don't think we should be, I don't think, I don't know if Hindus should be making such a big deal out of, gurus like that, because a lot of Hindus take those people. I guess a lot of people, Hindus do take those people seriously. So I don't know. I'll have to watch a lot more of Nityananda to give you a better perspective on what I think about him. From a couple of those videos that I watched, he says some good stuff and he said some weird stuff. So I don't know. The weird stuff deserved to be made memes of because it was really strange. So it deserved to be made a meme of. But I don't know, man. I'll have to watch a lot more of his videos to give you a better answer of that question. Jews, friends of Hindus or not? I think there's already friendship. I think there's already a lot of kinship between Israel and India. I think there's already a lot of friendship between Israel and India. So I'd say, yeah, of course. Settling of Kashmiri Pandits in their hometown, please answer. Yes, I am 100% in support of Kashmiri Pandits being allowed to settle back in Kashmir. Subramaniam Swami gave a very interesting idea where he said that the Kashmiri Pandits, Kashmiri Pandits should be resettled in Kashmir along with, let's say, 10, 20 lakh ex-servicemen who should be armed, and they should stay there with the Kashmiri Pandits and be allowed to live there so that they have protection, so that the Kashmiri Pandits are not removed from there again. So I think it's a very interesting idea of resettling Kashmiri Pandits along with ex-servicemen for protection. And I think the state of Jammu and Kashmir should be trifurcated. Jammu should be made a separate state, Ladakh should be made a separate state, and Kashmir Valley should be made a separate state. And they should get rid of 350 and Article 370 and Article 35A. That's what they should do, in my opinion. Yeah, we have seen last bastions of Hinduism in India are Maharashtra and maybe Andhra and Odisha. We have seen rampant conversions in Telugu states. Yes, we have, but there are still in places like Karnataka, in places like Andhra, places like Kerala even, there is still a very strong Hindu presence. And those are very proud Hindus, a lot of them there. Very proud of their Hindu civilization, very proud of their traditions and stuff like that. And we cannot give up on those states. We need to still be keeping an eye out on those states, fighting for creating anti-fraudulent conversion laws and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's my opinion. That's my opinion on that. What other questions do we have here? Da, 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 da. Wait, where did the questions go? Uday, do you believe in reincarnation? Look, it's a weird question, man. I mean, it's a good question, but it's a hard question for me to answer because I do believe that we are, we're part of this consciousness, or we're part of the whole energy that pervades the universe, right? We're part of the energy that pervades the universe, and a small shred of that energy is within all of us, and that energy cannot be destroyed, right? You can't just destroy energy. Energy is, you can transform energy into different forms, right? But you cannot destroy energy. So when the body dies, our energy just becomes part of the universe, and it then maybe manifests itself in another form, in another way. So I don't know if I believe that when a human being dies, it comes back as another human being, it comes back as an animal or something like that. But that energy within us doesn't die, so, and it probably takes another form. So that's my convoluted answer to that question. I don't know if I believe in a strict version of reincarnation because I don't have any proof for it. But I do think that the energy that resides within us will take another form. It will rejoin the universe and then it may take another form. So that's some kind of reincarnation, I guess, right? How do you convince new Hindus to understand the Hindu concept of divinity? Give them mushrooms. I'm kind of half serious about that because look, the concept of divinity is actually not very difficult to understand. The concept of divinity is basically Indian divinity is very interesting because Indians believe that, again, like I said, I just said that Indians believe that they're part of the entire cosmos. They're part of the energy that pervades the entire cosmos, and that energy is that energy is Brahman, basically, right? So it is not very difficult to explain to people that the atoms and molecules that make up the entire universe make up us as well. So a part of the universe or a shred of the universe is within all of us. We are part of all of it. The universe does not exist in isolation of us. We do not exist in isolation of the universe. We're all part of it. That is basically what Hindus believe, right? And experienced meditators, people who have been meditating for many, many, many years, right? They can experience that. When they meditate for a long period of time, they can actually experience that feeling. And it is said that people on psychedelics also have very similar experiences to the experiences that meditators have. So this is an experience that can be had, unlike Abrahamic religions, where you have to just believe somebody. Somebody said something and you have to believe it. In India, in Hinduism, you can actually have that experience yourself through practice, through dedication, and through discipline. You can have that experience yourself, you know? So that's the best way to explain it to people. Experience it yourself. Okay. All right, guys. I've seen some of the questions are pretty similar to the questions that I've already answered. And so have you ever tried DMT? If yes, what was your experience on it? No, I have not tried it yet, but I am going to one day. I might give it a try, man. Who knows? Red Blood, are you on Twitter? Yes, I am. I think my Twitter links are already provided in the description of this video. So go check out the description of this video and I will go and you can go follow me there. Okay, sorry if I've missed any of your questions. There's been a lot of questions, so I do apologize if I've missed any of your questions. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Okay, there's a bunch of questions about reservations, so let me answer that last question and we'll call it a day. Yeah, I think, look, when reservations came around, I think they had a point, in the sense that there had been a community of people in India that had historically been discriminated against, and so they needed a hand, and they needed they needed a hand, and they needed some help in joining mainstream India, in getting good jobs and uplifting themselves and their families. So I understand when reservation initially came around, there was definitely a point to that. But what is happening now is that the reservation is basically going to the creamy layer, right? It is going to the richest Dalits. They are the ones that are getting the reservations. The poor Dalits are not even getting that much of the reservation. And so I think there is really a very strong case to be made for economic reservations rather than caste-based reservations, right? Because there are plenty of upper caste people, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, so on and so forth, that are very poor and that can use reservation in certain institutions and in jobs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think there's a very good case to be made for um, economic reservations over caste-based reservations. So that's my answer to that question. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm going to call it a day now. It's been very fun hanging out with you guys. It's been a lot of fun answering your questions, and it's been a lot of fun talking to you guys. Let me know in the comments down below, okay? Put your answers in the comments. My question of the day to you is, would you like me to do this weekly? Would you like me to do a Q&A with you guys on a weekly basis? So you can ask me whatever you want and you can give me suggestions for the show. Let me know in the comment section below. So I will see you guys again on Wednesday with a video. And when that video comes around, make sure to keep an eye out for that. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. And until then, make sure to subscribe to the show's channel down below. If you enjoy what we do here on the Sham Sharma Show, give this episode a like. And if you would like to support me on Patreon, you would like to support what I do here for the show, you can go to patreon.com. The link is, I think, provided in the description. You can go to patreon.com and you can support the show there with whatever amount you feel comfortable as well. All right. I will see you guys on Wednesday for the Wednesday episode. And until then, stay happy, stay healthy. I'll see you soon.